I think it's just time to get to the shits, man, as Andy would say, because it's been an eventful weekend in the Premier League. Some feisty games, and we're obviously going to talk about Newcastle's first game with the new owners, which had a buzz. But we're going to go to the Walker Stadium where Leicester hosted Man United in what was probably one of the thrilling games of the weekend. Goals galore, absolute goals galore. I want to shout out Mason Gunwoods, man.
Great goals, man, in that game. Great goals, I must say.
I think that was probably Tillemans was good, but mate, that left foot of Gunwoods, mate, he clarted that. Schmeichel had no chance. However, that was not enough for United. Although they took the lead once, I believe, or twice. Leicester came out overall winners. And I think it's safe to say let's start with Peter, man, because in a game that you thought, oh, you've got a tough run with fixtures, you could probably pick up something here because you're going to get harder games. These games have not started well for you. How did you see that game for you?
I mean, it's just.
Was it that bad?
But when is Liverpool? He has mouth.
Oh man. Boy. Okay. So, yep. The goal went in. Mason Greenwood scored his goal. But prior to that, if I'm honest with you, Leicester were doing all the right things in terms of the high press, making our defenders uncomfortable whenever they got the ball. We had Harry Maguire that was starting the game, even though there was questions around his fitness. I think he'd only had one training session on the grass. And to me, that's to put him into a game of this magnitude against such players like Vardy, like Iheanacho, that love the press, Maddison, that will, make a defender uncomfortable regardless of whether they're fit or not. But to put an unfit defender like Harry Maguire in that situation probably was another mistake on Ole's part. I don't think he should have started him. I don't think he should have played him at all. And he had a really, really bad game, but that's not taking anything away from the way Leicester played, man. I think, like I said to you, they were doing all the right things without the ball. Iheanacho, Vardy working their socks off, initiating the press. And really and truly, if I'm honest with you, I think the game was won through their midfield and them Tillemans was running the show. He ran the show from start to finish with Maddison in midfield as well. Maddison making great runs in behind or into the final third of play. Tillemans was just picking, and they were just picking each other out like throughout the game, breaking the lines quite easily. And I feel like this is kind of a common theme playing United anyway. Once you break the lines sort of in that middle third, you're always in with a chance to create something because there isn't enough stability in there. I mean, Matic was doing what he could, trying to put out fires here and there, but we all know that defensively, Pogba, he's as fantastic player as he is, he doesn't have that, the defensive capabilities in his game. So, he was giving away free kicks. Maddison was going down. And they were by far the better team. And, we got our 2 goals, but I don't think it was a reflection of how the game went. They were much, much better than us and they deserved to win. So, yeah, man. Yeah, peak. Very, very peak.
That damaging report there. And I think what you mentioned was the unfit Harry Maguire, which I thought was a bit of a rush. And to me, I felt like 3 of the 4 goals were because of Maguire. He really cost you that game. But Jake, do you think Ole made the right thing by just taking this risk and playing Maguire?
Obviously not. Like, if it turned out all right, then yeah, he gets seen as it gets seen as a good choice, doesn't it, if it pulls off? But you're absolutely right. Like, I think you can blame all 4 on him, partially or fully. Like,
boy, sorry, that one Basaka though, what was he doing, man? Like,
he's definitely more to blame for that goal, without a doubt. But I think Perez hit it on the nail. Like, you've seen him on the training pitch once from this injury. what's Ole thinking and going, yeah, do you know what? He looks good enough to play.
Well, Jake, Ole said that he didn't feel pain, so he was ready to go.
Well, maybe it's not a pain thing, but there was no sharpness to him whatsoever. Like, he just looked dull. Like, his decision making was delayed. There was no confidence there whatsoever. Like, he's just. It's hard to explain.
It looked like a mental thing to me, man. It looked like mentally he was somewhere else in his head. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, I agreed. I agree with Drew.
You could almost say, like, maybe it was a last-minute decision. And I think Maguire's probably preparing himself not to play the game. Like, I'll get a rest here, then I'll get the run out in the Champions League. And then Ole maybe gone last minute, like, do you know what? We do need you to play. And it's just having to, like, put that switch on, which is completely different. And especially when you're playing, like, Leicester, who, whilst on bad form, like, their two strikers are proven in the Premier League. Like, you can't just take the day off against them, especially with that crowd as well. So, yeah, like, all round, United was shit. Like, call a spade a spade.
Shalom. Brendan, obviously one that was linked to an Arsenal job and has potentially been linked to the potential vacant Newcastle job.
Yeah.
Do you think he got it right against United, or was it just United just were very poor?
I think any club that goes to Leicester to play against them should expect a game. The problem about Leicester is most of the time they're up for it. Sometimes they produce very bad games, but it's against United. They're gonna be up for it. We do our prediction things on the WhatsApp group, and you noted I put Leicester because I saw Leicester winning this game.
Mate. Jesus Christ.
Oh, did you, Shalom?
Yeah, I put Leicester.
Well done.
Fortune teller over here.
Sorry, Prez. But yeah, I put Leicester because I thought this is a game Leicester would win. They're at home. They're going to play well. Leicester are one of the teams in the league that actually have very good players. So on their day, they're very dangerous. And playing a United team that, let's face it, Ronaldo has been saving their ass. It was just for me, Leicester winning that game. So yeah, Brendan, to answer your question, Brendan's a great manager. Going to Newcastle will be a steal for Newcastle, to be honest. But
he shut that down.
He did shut that down, but you don't want to look like, like you're grabby like a Jose, saying that he has an emotional.
Didn't he shut down the rumors when he was at Celtic, like about the Leicester?
He did that as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
So he's a criminal anyway, man.
Andy told me about that Brendan, fam. It's like right
that guy, bro.
On the paycheck, boy.
Brother, if you clear that check within 2 hours, he's there.
No, but we'll see what happens. Like, obviously, every manager being respectful to Steve Bruce, who's been probably the best profession handling this. Imagine knowing you're gonna get sacked and you're having to still do your job. Like, shout out Steve Bruce, man. But sticking to this game before we move, I know Mitch and Tabs, you man are going quiet. I thought you had a lot to say about United. Here's your chance. Or you man like shout out.
One thing that sorry, before you man go, yeah, like one thing that I want to bring is something interesting that Tabs said when we were discussing the game, and I want to get the opinion of everyone else, and I think it's about Ronaldo basically, and obviously he's come into the team, he's scored 5 goals in 7 games, but is his presence, is his the fact that he's starting, is that taken away from the young players that we have, the young forward players that we have, and them being able to express themselves, because it's almost like the Ronaldo show kind of thing. I think that's what Tabo was trying to say, but if it wasn't, then elaborate.
I agree with Tabs. I agree with Tabs. But Tabs, do you want to say something or?
No. It's for everyone else to
you know what? I'll disagree with that one. Obviously, people will say I've got my Ronaldo hat on, but I genuinely don't. When you've got a player like that, of that stature, just from thinking about myself, if I was playing with, let's say, an idol of mine, let's say Thierry Henry, I would step up a gear. I'd be like, you know what? I've got to play with him. I wouldn't think, do you know what? It's the Henry show. I wouldn't think like that. So
just football, Mitch, man. I mean,
but
exactly. You want to play around better players because it will actually elevate you as a younger player. And
yeah,
he's not even playing in the direct position as any of the younger players that Tabo is referring to. So I really don't see where he's come up with that.
Well, my position is more of like in terms of like a business future sense. In my opinion, Ronaldo was more suited to City than United. In my opinion, I felt like United does have a lot of young, talented players that you needed to give time to. And Ronaldo's currently taking that time. Yes, I do. Yes, I do agree.
In what way, though?
What do you mean? What way?
I'm asking you, in what way is he taking away from the other players? Like, it can't be positionally.
If you take out, okay, that's fine. But as a manager, you work around that. But if you take out Ronaldo's minutes and give it to someone like Greenwood or Rashford or current that line, wait. Let me finish.
Don't forget,
Rashford just came back.
Hold up. Toast, finish your point and then Shalom will answer.
Sorry, for me, I just need a bit more clarity on Shalom and Tabo's point, because I feel like I made my point pretty clear in terms that it can't be positionally. But if we're talking personnel-wise, we can obviously eliminate Rashford already, because Rashford not only scored yesterday, but yesterday was his first game of the season. In terms of Greenwood, I definitely feel as if I guess an argument could be made there, but at the same time, we have seen Greenwood play as almost like a winger or as part of a free. So, you're not going to expect Greenwood to be playing as the 9 when Ronaldo's in the team, but Greenwood still does have an effect. He has the ability to use both feet to come in. So I don't know. I'm trying to.
Bro, that Greenwood don't look for Ronaldo, you know.
Okay. Let me answer the question.
Go on, Shalom.
The way I look at it is, if United doesn't win a title or trophy within the time Ronaldo is currently in the team to he leaves, it's a bad decision, because you're only bringing Ronaldo to help the team win trophies. Yes or no? So if that's a yes and it doesn't happen, then it's a bad decision. If
if he scores like 25 to 30 or something,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because at that time, you might as well give it to the young bucks.
Two different points.
I feel like
hold on.
Can I just
my point was different. No, let me say my point so people understand the position.
Go on, Tabs.
So what I was merely looking at, and Charb did this yesterday, where he did what Toast did about, Rashford's only just come back and he scored and he's not playing. What I meant was, this was the season, if you remember, when Prez, everyone was like, all right, Sancho's going to come. And then the project will begin of Rashford, Sancho, and Greenwood, right? And then whoever's in and around, Martial, all these type of guys. However, when Ronaldo's come into the team, now someone has to miss out. Someone is
okay. So are you telling me that Sancho's not getting the minutes because Ronaldo's playing for Man United right now?
But this is what I said, that look at it from the rest of the season. I wasn't just talking about what's happened so far. I'm saying the way that I look at it, right, is right now, Ronaldo, if he doesn't score, he actually is not contributing anything to the team.
What's that got to do with Sancho not getting minutes?
Or how Sancho's
development at Man United. Please explain.
It will affect, because
how?
Explain.
Well, he will not play because Ronaldo will be.
But he's been playing. He's been playing. Sancho's been getting minutes.
Yes,
played like 10 games.
Hold on,
no goals or
that's
assists.
why I said stop being. Bro, that's why I said to you, stop being closed-minded, talking about the past. I said, do you think this is going to?
What past? What past have I brought up?
Bro, you're talking about, like, for instance, you brought up Rashford, it's one game. And I'm saying, yes, Rashford is now here. So that is going to create more of a problem. Bro, you keep cutting. No.
I think your agenda,
bro, it's not even an agenda.
I've got a question for Tabo.
I've not heard one good point.
Who would you say Ronaldo's taking minutes off?
Bro, it's not about currently taking the minutes off. What I'm saying is, for example, yesterday, Ronaldo did nothing against Leicester City, and he was not sacrificed, clearly because he was Ronaldo.
But nor did the other 10 players on the pitch.
But then we go back to positionally. Even if Ronaldo has had a bad game, is Sancho going to play 9?
It's not even about a bad game. Ronaldo's just going to be kept. Bro, Ronaldo's just going to be kept on the pitch, even if he's not performing. That is my point.
Because he is Ronaldo.
That's my point. That is going to block. That's going to block the youngsters in the future.
Let me come on.
That was my point.
No,
that was my point.
Can I land?
What the hell?
Mitch Land.
Basically, let me understand something. If you've got a player like Ronaldo on the pitch, what's your first thought as a defender? As a defender, and you see Ronaldo,
you have to account for him at all times.
I need to keep my eye on him. What that does is clearly open up space for the other attackers. That's what should happen. Because it's the same thing with Messi. Messi might not be doing anything the whole game. However,
but Messi does something.
Let's not do
Ronaldo Messi.
Let him land, man. Let him land.
Let's say that one game that Messi doesn't do anything. Messi is still going to be the defenders and midfielders are still going to keep an eye on him because they think, you know what? If we give him a second, if we give him a chance, he's going to score. So why would you then take off the player that the defenders are keeping an eye on the 90 minutes? They have to. So Brendan Rodgers, Brendan Rodgers before the game, right? Brendan Rodgers before the game would have said, right, do not give Ronaldo a yard of space. Do not let him win the ball in the air. Do not let him get a clear shot on goal. Facts. And he would have said that to all his defenders. Yep. So if you take off Ronaldo now, he's going to say, you know what? You haven't got to get as tight as them.
Because no one's saying that Ronaldo shouldn't play, by the way. I didn't ever once say that because he's Ronaldo, like he said.
So you said he's blocking the young boys.
I said it could then block for the young boys in the future. For example, yesterday, Ronaldo did nothing and he will probably not come off in a game like that. And that's gonna happen and keep happening. And now that Rashford has also been added to the equation, right? Now, as you rightfully said, he's been added to the equation. So that's gonna create more of a competition for the guys that need to be developing. Whereas Ronaldo is clearly in his final days. We know this.
But, this might be the worst point I've ever heard, honestly. But,
we're gonna wrap it up.
Bro, Toast, you've been against it because you're a Ronaldo fan. No.
You're waffling, and you've not.
Bro, there's no waffle.
How can I take?
Oh, yesterday Ronaldo played badly. Bro,
how can I take you seriously?
So even United fans are saying it. That's the problem. United fans are saying it.
But when a man started talking about Ronaldo and just can't not bring up Messi, I knew it was all over from there.
I didn't bring up Messi, by the way.
What Shalom said, Ronaldo's been brought in to win trophies. I think this would be a great thing to see when the season ends. We'll see if he has stopped the progress of any United youngster, because we can come back and reflect on this. Like Tabu, you made a good, someone said
you made a point.
But you made a point, thanks, Prez. But we can see at the end of the season, was someone affected by this? But as though Shalom, what he said is if United don't win any trophies, then we can look back and see what Ronaldo brought in for. But yeah,